All right, peace and blessings, beautiful people. I hope all is well with you within whatever world that you're experiencing. Within that world, I have been commissioned to come and help to create positive change. But with me knowing this and finding myself in situations where I'm around other individuals that who has no clue what this life really has, you know what I'm saying, something that's really going on. You heard, man. I believe that we're all in the same world, but we're not in the same world, if that makes sense. Because there's so much stuff that's taking place that nobody even hold conversation about. You heard, man. Like the real stuff that's taking place. You know what I'm saying? Like the fact of all the women in the world are magicians. And then all the men or the males in transition in the world are basically, how can we call it? They're just looking for the easier catch, if that makes sense. Because you got to understand, a little boy was told that, well, eventually he's told that in order to become a man, he has to have sex. And that little boy, little mind, is going to be totally distorted, you heard, man. And you got to think about it. Some of them little boys in the situation where instead of he became the son, he became the mama little boyfriend. So when you got to understand, they got certain type of dudes that fit that category that you probably don't even have a clue or even try to even think about, see how that particular life is actually going. You heard me. Everybody has different experiences, but at the same time, within those experiences, I believe that we should be learning something positive from each other. You heard me. I don't know if y'all even feeling that. You heard me. Think about it. Every new person that you meet, it's like a university. Let's say you didn't go to college. Okay, watch this. Let's say you didn't go to college, and then there's those that went to college. So this is how I look at it. Every individual, whatever their last name is, whoever it is that you know, that's either a high school or a university that you're attending. And a lot of times, the curriculum that comes with the new individual, their curriculum supersedes. You can't even. You pass too many tests on that little Richter scale, if you understand where I'm coming from. But you still keep them people in your story. Why are you carrying dead weight? If you really think about it, because chances are, just like for instance, when it comes towards TikTok, or when it comes towards social media in general, you heard me, watch that. You probably won't accept me into your world because If this is your first time coming across one of my lives, you know what I'm saying? This is your first experience. And this is my first experience with you too. And I want you to know it's beautiful to meet you at this point within your journey. You heard me? Because we all on a journey. Everybody come with baggage, but at the same time, until you understand why you carrying the baggage, then you're going to continue seeing that you're only a victim of your story. And all you're going to do is try to persuade those you already have manipulated in that world on behalf of you missing the fact that the Lord gave you that story for a reason. And you still don't want to do nothing with it. You heard me? You still talking about you looking for a job in 2025. When in actuality, my baby, why you not working in your purpose? You heard me? You are one of the many that will say that there's pee in the dating pool. You heard me? But the more to that is you and your homegirls and your homeboys, y'all all brought the P2. Y'all, it's like y'all got to the club, y'all each had a gallon in each hand. You heard me? Because in your story, you believe that somebody broke your heart. When in actuality, there was no one that was able to break your heart because the Lord sent you down here with unlimited potential, with everything you need for this particular journey. And some way, somehow, you still telling people that you're waiting on him. You heard me? Like he just got time to wait on you. You heard me? My baby, that's selfish. Edgar, is beautiful to see. My baby, that's selfish. You heard me? Really think about it. The Lord loves you so much. This is male and female. You remember? I got some dudes in here. I see my brother E. Hey, you really have to think about it. There's a reason why you stopped learning. Really think about it. Some people went to college. Some people didn't go to college. Some people didn't even graduate. But at the same time, there's a choice that you can make that can change everything on behalf of what you see. Because at the end of the day, you always just one decision away from a different life. So with that being said, you make yourself believe that you don't have certain things to the point to where you start telling people, well, you don't even start telling people. This is something you just don't talk about. And you on the borderline whenever it comes towards, I'm praying, but I don't believe that something is happening. And since I don't believe that something is happening, I'm going to just go back into my little survival mode. That way, whenever somebody try to hold a conversation with you or try to talk to you in the store or wherever it is that you be, and you totally shut down the conversation, and because you judge it. It depends on what type of, it depends on what the man look like toward if you're going to try to flirt or whatever the particulars may be. But at the same time, I've been watching a lot of hood dudes lose lately. You heard me? I'm like, man, it's like, it don't work no more. What's going on? But what the ball's not going to understand is that there's women that's in this world that'll put themselves in self-isolation. And she not in self-isolation because God got her in there. She in self-isolation because she don't want to look crazy to some of them homegirls, or she don't want to look crazy to somebody. Whatever the particulars may be, it's always going to be something. You heard me? But anyway, let's say you got a dude that comes in, or let's say better yet, TikTok. You know what I'm saying? You find people on the FYP or whatever the deal is. You heard me? Some people come into the classroom. Some people stay on the outside. And to those that's on the outside, hey, I love y'all too, because at the same time, y'all help me to help the students that's in this particular class. Because what happens is they're not ready to understand that everything was just a class that they was taking. You heard me? It's like we are all spirits having a human experience. And there was certain little cartoon movies. I'm trying to remember the one that I'm thinking about. You heard, man? There was, I don't know, I forgot the name of it, but this is what I need you to understand. We're all spirits having a human experience. So what you look like the family that you came from. But you have to understand, everyone came on an assignment. So do you feel like you're working out of your assignment? Are you pulling your end of the bargain? Think about it. You tell people that the Lord is your shepherd. You tell people that, you know what I'm saying, this house will serve the Lord and everything. You speak in tongues, whatever the particulars may be. But at the same time, you know that many are called, but few are chosen. You heard me? Now, with that being said, you saying you chosen, but you, my baby, I don't know now. You heard me? I know we all in different areas of it or whatever the deal is, but my baby, hey, please don't do that. Don't do that with everybody, because 99% of the people that's in your story don't know who they are. Now, think about it. Chances are you're living in a world where you're only comparing yourself to other individuals, trying to keep up with the Joneses, like they say, or whatever the deal is. When in actuality, you care about people who don't know who they are. And if they did, chances are y'all wouldn't be staying next to each other. I'm gonna be real with you, because you got to remember, from 0 to 15, the people who raised you, you see the mindset that you have right now on how that you believe that we were supposed to come and work only a 9 to 5 and that's it. That's what you make. That's what you deciding to believe. But anyway, watch this. My baby, you experiencing a life that you wasn't even supposed to even get any type of attention to. You was never supposed to experience what you went through. Think about it. What you went through, you also make yourself believe that you're the only one that went through that. So you got to understand, what you went through is generational. So it didn't just happen to you just because. It happened to you because the Lord was trying to show you what the people was lying to you about in that deep manipulation factor. Think about it. Some of y'all still manipulated today. Now, what I'm gonna say is, it's something simple, but really think about that. Like, so you are part of the group that say, I can't believe the world is going in the direction that it's going. And you're trying to figure out, why is that happening? And I'm about to show you why. Please hear my heart. From 0 to 8, whatever, however long it took you before you snapped out of it, they taught you about the Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, and the Tooth Fairy. You heard me? And some way, somehow, still present day 2025, you still celebrating that with the children. Manipulate y'all still doing that? Think about, where is the respect? You know what I'm saying? What? Listen to me closely. Watch this. Them people deeply manipulated you to the point to where it's not only, because you got to understand, it's just like with these factories where, Amazon supposedly going towards all robots. So they, let go of some people or whatever they do. Watch this. Everybody has different situations on how they came up, how they're basically wired to operate. Because you got to understand, it's something like you're following trends. So whatever your family curses are, I guess we can say it like that, or those family secrets, that's running through your bloodline. It's like, if you really think about it, like some robot type stuff, if you really think about it. Because if you, on a day-to-day basis, you feed yourself all kind of thoughts, all kind of ways all day. You feeding yourself all kind of stuff. Think about it. That's like some futuristic type stuff. But anyway, if you really think about it, it's just you. They think about all that stuff like that. My baby, I don't know. We don't know what your little vocabulary is whenever you're talking in your head, because they got some of y'all will say it inside your head and then y'all will type it. But my baby, none of you people, you got to understand there's people that's really liking your post. You got like 100 likes at this point, but my baby, you spelled one of them words wrong. And they liked it, but those likes really didn't count because they're not even telling you, my baby. So you talking Chinese on here? What you doing? We don't understand that. What are we talking about? But nobody says nothing, and you cool with it. But at the same time, my baby, why is it like that? Why do you have people that's not trying to educate you, that's not trying to have you thinking higher in this particular season? Think about it. Season after season, you always saying that you're thinking higher, but at the same time, how high is that? Is that only the height of your ceiling? But at the same time, my baby, you got unlimited potential. Every room that you walk into, you should have the understanding of what your identity is. And I'm not talking about the identity in the world. You heard me? Because the identity in the world, think about it. How long have you been making those same decisions? And whatever you at right now in age, whatever level, you're in a situation where you ain't even realized it yet that you already done all you came here to do. All that's left is for your turn to be in the middle at a funeral. But nobody in your circle. Think about it. They taught you to keep your circle small. My baby, that circle small stuff, that's old school. And you still operating like that now. My baby, you got to think. Your family manipulated you into believing that you were supposed to be family when you wasn't supposed to be family. Think about it. You was brainwashed from the beginning. The scripture says that he knew you intimately before you were born. Before he placed in your mother's womb, he set you apart. So if you think about it, before he placed you in your mother's womb, he set you apart. My baby, you were supposed to be set apart. You didn't come to be family. If you think about it, everybody that raised you all had this same scripture too, and none of them did nothing on behalf of the scripture. And guess what? They taught you how to do it too. And guess what? They teaching you also how to make sure that your kids don't get it either. But at the same time, you're not understanding it as you got the spirit realm, where there's light and there's dark things that's actually taking place, like right here, right now. You heard me? And it's going on to your house too. You don't eat. Listen, they got you so brainwashed, my baby. It's like you still believe that. I mean, there's a lot of different ways I can go with that one. That's a lot of different ways. But anyway, you still believe that somebody in your story hurt your heart. Somebody broke your heart. Now, how many men do you believe that's really out there saying, well, these women broke my heart? This percentage is really going to be small, and since the percentage is small, now maybe maybe it might not be. I don't know. I haven't looked into that lane on dudes coming up talking about they sorry for what's this? Look how crazy it is. They're sorry for getting caught cheating on behalf of a woman that he was already manipulating into making her believe that he is her God. Are you grabbing that? Man, listen, I hope y'all write some of this stuff down, because if y'all not gonna hear it like this. That's another reason why you wouldn't put me on your team. Because you gotta understand the way that I talk. Chances are nobody in your story talking like this. And since they're not talking like this, that means you're not getting challenged. And since you're not getting challenged in one area, when it comes towards the human mind in the world, listen to what I'm saying, in the world, that caps itself off in a circle, or however you want to look at it. There's people that's in that story that's going to never get off the carousel that they got on at about 6 or 7 years old. What am I talking about? Really think about it. What have you seen different besides the time, the calendar, the date on the calendar changing? If you really think about it, let's just go 5 years. 2020, what happened in 2020, everybody know what happened in 2020. But at the same time, you got to really think about it like this. 21, 22, and 23 felt like they was all mashed together. So all of them was like 2022. You heard me? So if you really think about it, between 2020 and 2022 or 2020, 2023, depending on 2020, 2024, for some, the new family reunion became the homegoing service. To the point to where, you heard me? That's what people was doing for the pandemic. Bouncing from state to state. You heard me? Doing this, doing that. But in the midst of it, they were taught to grieve whenever someone gets an opportunity before them. Think about it. You're living in this world. Whatever type of life you choose to live, you live it. Now, eventually, your particular peanut shell, which is the body, it has to expire. Because everything in this is like a video game. Think about it. I like to talk about Tetris from time to time. When it comes towards Tetris, once you got the blocks all lined up at the bottom, it disappeared. So there's people that's still not understanding that's the game of, you know what I'm saying, that's really like wisdom, some wisdom in life. Because life is like Tetris. When you fit in, you disappear. So as long as you continue to fit in this experience, then you're going to miss out on other levels that you could have reached within this video game that you actually get. Y'all, you know what I'm saying? That's the reason why that's another reason why you wouldn't even accept me in your particular team. You heard me, all that small circle, because when I realized what my identity was, you heard me, that's when the light bulb switched. It's like, oh, really? So you really have these different powers. There's certain things there's certain energy that the Lord has already put within you. You heard me. Now, once you get an understanding of what's really going on, it's like taking candy from a baby. But at the same time, I know that I still have to stay humble, because I don't want to feel like you know what I'm saying, I'm triggering somebody, because that's not what I'm here for. You heard me. I'm definitely not here for that. I don't want to trigger nobody. I just want to allow you to see certain things from a male's well, I can't even say a male, because I'm going to teach you so many different levels of so many different deep diving things. You heard, man. So that's another thing, that the reason why you wouldn't accept me into your team, because I came to be a change. That's what the scripture told me. I came to be a change. You heard me. I came to be set apart. I have a set apart mindset. That's another reason why you wouldn't allow me to stay in your story. Now, you may come watch me from time to time. You see, let me see what you know what I'm saying? See what OG talking about. I guess I'm getting called OG these days, or whatever the deal is. You heard me. It is what it is, though. You know what I'm saying? It's about understanding that those that call me OG, those are the ones that my particular calling is connected to anyway, just like y'all's are, but y'all are still sit back and act like y'all don't know what your purpose is. You heard, man. And then they got some, what's so crazy about it, they got some that really know what their purpose is, and them things still trying to blend in with y'all. You heard me? I'm telling y'all, there's people that you have in your store, the people don't care about you. I'm telling you, but at the same time, you still can't even see it, and it's being done. There's so many people. Watch. They got some little hood chicks on here too, and like, you know what I'm saying? I like holding conversation with a little hood chick too. But check this out, my baby. They got some dudes and some females that's playing in your face, and you don't check them, because the person that you hide is your real self. So They don't know that you're not living the right life. And everybody you chill with don't know that you're not living the right life, because you know what I'm saying is there's some truth to it. And at the same time, you just don't have the courage to actually allow your light to shine, because you got to understand they brainwash you into playing small. So you're only doing what the family made you do. Think about it. What if you get to the pearly gates and they call your name, you heard, man, or they call you up and you are like, they'll say, you know what, if you can find your name on the scroll, you heard, man, you can go ahead and come in. So you go over there, you know what I'm saying, you find your name on the scroll, and then underneath your name it said like motivational speaker, multi-business owner, whatever, won a couple of Emmys, or I don't know, won something spectacular. And you're going to look at the people, you're going to say, well, my name is here, but I didn't experience none of this stuff under my name. And then they're going to tell you because that's the life you were supposed to live. But at the same time, you make yourself believe that you came into this world to take care of your mama when she got sick, or your daddy when he got sick. When in actuality, them people couldn't teach you nothing. If you really, now, you know, I'm not talking about nobody's parents, but I'm just showing you the mindset that you have right now is the same type of mindset that they had back then, because you were being raised by individuals that was grieving their whole lives. Think about it. There's people that's in your story right now. Watch this. Wherever you're watching this from, let's say wherever you from, if where you at right now is attached to that birth certificate on where you was born at, my baby, this is what I need you to really understand. Them people really deeply manipulated you. Because at the same time, the day that you were born as a balloon with helium in it. You heard, man? When they pulled you out your mother's womb, they tied a string to the balloon, and then they handed it to your parents. So, my baby, you came in here with unlimited potential. Not only they taught you how, or they manipulating you into playing small, they're also making sure that you don't accept your call from the Lord. And you care about them so much. And them people got you stuck in that particular world, my baby. Okay, yeah, people watch. The day you were born is the day you started to die too. So how can you get mad about somebody that was 10, 15, 20 years ahead of you, 30, 40 years ahead of you? Everything in this life has an expiration date. There's two dates on each side of the dash. The start date and the end date on the tombstone, but the dash in the middle. That dash in the middle represents life. Now, whatever happens is going to happen strategically within the dash, regardless on if you're ready or not. So just think, if you was living the right life that the Lord sent you down here to live, and then you'll see how much time you spent in that particular world, and they teach you. Think about it. You're still there, and the reason why you're still there is because they manipulated you just like they was manipulated. So chances are you will end up doing your daughter or your son like that too, and not even recognize it, because it's a generational curse that nobody talks about. You heard me? Now, that's the crazy thing about it. This is going on openly. You heard me? Just like, for instance, there's mothers that's watching this right now. I'm here to tell you, Mom, that chances are you don't really know if you even really care about your children or not. Because I'm going to be real with you. If I was to hold a conversation with you today and I would ask you, my baby, are you happy? So, chances are, my baby, I know you're going to lie to me. You heard me? I know you're going to lie to me, because I'm going to ask you, how you doing? You're going to say, I'm fine, I'm blessed, and all this other stuff. And then I ask you, my baby, what your heart said. And then you pause. You read it, But at the same time, you don't have no response like right away. And you know you don't need to just be saying anything because that dude just got serious with me and I wasn't ready. So you make yourself believe that you're behind on life. When in actuality, my baby, Ecclesiastes chapter 3 says there's a time and a season for everything under heaven. But at the same time, you're still trying to supposedly, quote unquote, wait for the right time. My baby, there'll never be a right time. You got to come in there and create that. You heard, man? Just like, for instance, you're so highly intelligent. But at the same time, my baby, you're making yourself play small. And what's so crazy about it, you have the nerve to fuss with people when you playing small already. Just like when you see people supposedly killing themselves or somebody shot somebody on the news or whatever. These people, what are they thinking? Think about the stuff that you did that day, and that's what was going on. That's the reason why I can't watch Dallas news. You heard me? I'm like, there's no way possible that all this can be going on while I was doing what I was doing today. You heard me? But they always got something, because I need you to understand. They're preying, Preying, on your emotions, because whatever type of trauma, that whatever is going on is going to trigger those people, and those people are going to start, you know what I'm saying, either doing this or doing that, whatever the situation is. And that's the reason why they got them old people. They still sit there and watch the news, and that's all they want to talk about. But at the same time, they come and ask me, hey, so what do you think about, I had a conversation, well, it wasn't even no conversation. This situation with Trump or whatever, I'm like, man, I said, man, Big T, don't talk politics, because at the same time, I'm not in this world. I'm not of this world, and I'm standing on that I'm not of this world. But at the same time, the chances are you are not of this world too. But at the same time, you still know how to fuss with people. That's having those experiences. My baby, these are just classes that you're taking, and you're still... Okay, you started going live. All right. Maybe you started going live, but at the beginning, you know what I'm saying, you like to supposedly go up on other people's lives so that way you can keep your camera off. Nobody can see that you got your bonnet on. My baby, it's much respect. But at the same time, when it comes towards your actual post, you don't really be, you know what I'm saying, dolled up. There's some men that love the natural woman. You heard me? So sometimes, I'll be honest, I'm not them eyelashes, especially them long ones. You heard me? Them long nails. Oh my goodness. So, ow, how you even, wipe or whatever, or better yet, if you even wipe good, that has to be caught up in one of them. This is how some men see it. This is how some men think. But at the same time, I don't understand why he thinking like, my baby, I'm not for everybody. And guess what? I understand that, because I know my worth. You heard me? Chances are you've never dealt with a man that knows his worth. So you got to think about it. A man that doesn't know his worth, he's going to sit back and fuss with you. You heard me? When y'all get into argument, he's going to sit and fuss with you. And it's like that turn you on. That's the type of dudes that you like. When in actuality, that's not even the type of dudes that you like. That's the type of dudes your mama like. You heard me? You afraid to think on your own. You're afraid to make your own decisions, because you're only making decisions based off your nickname or your middle name, whatever one floats your boat. Not realizing that nickname or middle name is basically your slave name. What does that mean? Whoever call you, whatever your nickname is, that means you have to still pretend to be that little girl that he created that name for. And you still don't realize that. And none of the men that you're going to deal with going to realize that, because you don't think on that level. And for sure, it's going to be, Lord have mercy, it's going to blow his mind if it happens, because you got to understand, in that life that you're experiencing, you keep picking the same dude in different bodies. So, you know what I'm saying? I think I lost some friends when I said that y'all some magicians. You heard me? Because you know how to Be exact, I'm picking the same particular spirit as the last one and a brand new dude. And then you'll dress it up. You've been on TikTok and YouTube and all this other stuff, and these people supposedly telling you that you can manifest your person. So all of a sudden, a dude jump in your inbox, and every brand new dude that you like too, my baby, this is what I need you to understand. Every new dude that you find handsome, you give the conversation to. They can be married. It don't matter what the situation is. You heard, man. Because as you can see, you got to understand, fellas, it's no secret. The women will come on here and they'll say happily married, wife, Grammy, whatever the situation is. But watch this. They promoting lust, but they saying that they, all this other stuff. So what that's making you, what you not seeing? Tell me why you don't see it this way. What that woman doing is she choosing. You heard me? Openly. It ain't she's not coming to play. Is what she's telling you, my brother. You heard me? That woman telling you that she happily married. She promoting lust. So what they should tell you is, that ball that's over there, hey, listen, that's what's considered as a yes man. You heard me? You gotta get up. You gotta go into these Bible stores, boy. You know what I'm saying? Them Samsons and Delilahs. Do you know what I'm saying? You got to find out what these different spirits are, brother. Because my brother, you're not understanding. As long as you stay stuck in that world, they gonna keep draining you for your money, boy. And then you're gonna get to a certain age, you're gonna be like, boy, I should have never. Hey, boy, I spent so much money. You heard me? Doing this, doing that while you're sleeping. Think about it, my brother. You spending that, you BMFing. You heard, man? But at the same time, boy, you operating out the wrong dude. That's not who they sent you out here to be. Especially if you went and created you a career. Okay? You went and created you a career, but at the same time, all you did was then went and worked a 9 to 5. Because you still don't believe that there's people that's assigned to your calling in this particular life, and you don't have no idea how to reach them because they don't know you, you don't know them, y'all don't know each other, and some way, somehow, you stay stuck loving on a family that created you the way that you create, that the way that you think and how you operate, they help create that you. And you're only allowing yourself to waste time. You heard, man? My babies, my brothers, y'all wasting time right now. You heard, man? We don't have no idea. Now, mind you, like I said, you ain't gonna let me into your small circle because I'm coming to shake up everybody. You heard, man? It don't matter what hood it is. You heard, man? Wherever the hood is all good, because at the same time, every last one of us has a purpose. If you believe that Jesus died on the cross for your sins, if your answer is yes, you're saying that you're willing to follow him, yes. But at the same time, there's a percentage, watch this. There's a percentage of women that, okay, let me not say it like, because they got some new people. They're going to think I'm talking about the women. There's a percentage of men, a percentage of women that go to the depths of life, because you got to understand, in the world, they say YOLO, that you only live once. But at the same time, if you think about it, my baby, we live multiple lives in this one life. You heard me? What type of life did you live when you stayed with your mom? What type of life that you've been living in each one of your relationships? Because each dude was supposedly different. That's what you told people. But at the same time, all you did was went through the same relationship. Think about it. Count on your hands how many relationships have you experienced. And once you get to beyond 10 in this one life that you can really, you know what I'm saying? I put in some years with this one. You got to understand there's a chance that you're afraid to be alone. But at the same time, nobody don't know that. And the people that's in your story, y'all all have that in common, is that y'all don't talk about it. So what happens? Nobody heals. Eventually somebody die. And then all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying, whatever is next, Because you got to understand, there's nobody in your story that's trying to help you change. And if you change, they're not going to want to be in your story no more, because you're going to apply pressure to them to have to do something too. Oh, shoot. So we came up in the same neighborhood, then became a millionaire. What they did that I couldn't do? Y'all both put your pants leg on one at a time. It's just about, do you have the will to want it, to believe in yourself, to go far in this particular life? If it don't happen, oh well. Think about it. What you're doing right now is not, it's not taking you nowhere. You heard me? And what's so crazy about it is, like, it's to the point to where I done got so far into this entrepreneurship, you heard me? And just like even when it comes to Amazon, you know what I'm saying? I go to the hub because I consider that as ministry. You heard me? I get a chance to go and deliver packages as serving, you know what I'm saying, the community, or whatever community they send me. And one thing you don't know until you scan your package on where you're going. So they give me the opportunity, because chances are you don't think like this. You only think, oh, okay, you can make some money, or you can't make no money. Hey, you can make some money, whatever, but it's about the outlook on how to see it. You heard me? I get an opportunity to go and serve whoever's community, and I don't really have to see nobody. You heard me? Go distribute. You heard me? Do my thing. Get out the neighborhood, and man, in and out like a robbery, like it never happened. But on those opportunities, although I don't know the families, you heard me, I still say a prayer for the family leading up to the door. You heard me? On behalf of all the families that the Lord allowed me to touch, because you have to understand, every new day is a day that you've never experienced. So who you was yesterday, you no longer that person unless you allow yourself to be. Now, that's the crazy thing about it, because you're allowing yourself to be that same person, when at the same time, Romans 12:2 said, do not conform to the patterns of this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. But at the same time, yeah, you repeated what I was just saying, but at the same time, you don't allow that to really manifest and think on that particular level, really meditate on what's being said. You heard me? Because at the end of the day, everything has an expiration date. There's a certain thing that's considered as a familiar spirit. And in that particular familiar spirit, if you don't have a relationship with God, listen to what I'm saying. If you don't have an intimate relationship with God, that means you still haven't met a man yet. Because if you think about it, you became a little woman that started to like going to church once you got to a certain age. And what the church didn't know is that you put yourself in self-isolation with nobody's consent. So you're manipulating people around you into believing that version of you that they know is who you are, when in actuality, my baby, that you don't even know who you are yet. So everybody manipulating in a circle. Think about it. They manipulating you to not change, and you manipulating them to not change either. So you got to understand, in your regular stories never supposedly have what your part was in that story. But I just sat back and told you what your part was in that particular story. My baby, you operating out of the wrong particular life. And you're making some men, well, you making decisions for some men to never accept their call from the Lord either. Because he's seeing you as, because this is what you didn't know. Your mama was a strong woman. She showed you how to be strong. But at the same time, chances are that was your mama, that was her call for your life. That's the only call that she had to give. Just like, for instance, with my mom. My mom passed on a week before I graduated high school. Now, what's so crazy about it, the same day that she passed away, my father gave me away that same day. You heard me? So here we are. I'm 17, about to be 18 in a week. You heard, man? About to graduate high school in a week. You heard, man? And the three main characters, well, my grandmother, I was raised by my grandmother. My grandfather had passed away. And then my mom and my daddy. So all four of my characters were all gone before I got to 18. You heard me? The last week before I got to 18. So think about the story that you tell. Which story would you rather? You heard me? Because you got to think. You just said, oh, I felt the emotion come out of somebody, and somebody said, oh, man, I'm so sorry to hear that. No, brother. Listen to what I'm saying. We all have the same story. We just have different details. Now, you got to understand that however you allow yourself to understand that. But at the same time, brother, we came to be the change. We never came to fit in. You heard me? We never came to fit in nothing. The only thing we came to fit in is finding others that's a part of our calling. And once we find them, we build things together. You heard me? You still believing that the Lord is not trying to give you what you asking him for, but at the same time, you keep focusing on just one thing and not all the other stuff too. Think about it. You've been asking for stuff your whole life, and at some point he got to go up into that corner box over there and see what that is that you said on that day, and then he gonna finally go ahead and run that to you, and you still won't realize it because you focus on somewhere else, or you're thinking about somebody else, some other dude that's there to make you to manipulate you too. You heard, man? Into thinking that he really like you, when in actuality you just the chick that got the house. You heard? There's a lot of different situations that we can tap into, but y'all get the gist of it. You heard me, my baby. All you have to do, think about it. We're not saying that you got to do nothing strange. All we saying is, my baby, there's another life that you're not tapped into yet. And once you get the goodness of the Lord on that side of it, you're going to be like, man, I can't believe I waited this long. You heard, man. Now, of course, you got to lose things, because the reason why you have to lose is because the things that you got right now, you're not winning with none of that. So you're already losing. So you might as well lose in the other direction. Understand that the people that you're connected to right now, as soon as you try to change for the better, the people going to get rid of you. And you cool with that. Think about it. You cool with it. Y'all still go to each other birthday parties. You heard, man. Whatever. And you still being seen by the wrong people. But you can care less, because you don't see it this way. And the reason you don't see it this way is because nobody around you talking to you like this. And since nobody around you, you're not stretching yourself. You don't have no reason to stretch, huh? That's just like a little dude that's a mama's boy, and you still haven't realized that since he's a mama's boy, that you try to get in a relationship with him, you can never be number one until his mama passed. That's as easy as I can give it to you, Herb. Because you got to understand, there's a spirit that's there. And in that spirit has the attraction to make sure that the next generation it kills the spirit of the next generation, and then breaks the spirit as soon as the mother leaves the story. That's how it goes. So he's not going to accept this call unless he allows himself to go through the grieving process, not realizing that, hey, you put your time in. My mama put her time in. She was 37. Right now I'm 42, so I'm about 5 years older than she got to see. But at the same time, I ended up bringing myself into a heart attack in 2020 because I was thinking, because that was the same year I was making 37, the same age my mama died. So at the same time, I was already applying pressure to myself, you heard me. And it was cool, but at the same time, it gave me a different type of understanding because once I woke up from the heart attack, I was no longer who I was before the heart attack. And what it made me well, I'm not going to just make it seem like it was all peaches and cream, you heard me, because it wasn't. You heard me, I had to go through the valley to get to where I'm at today. Like, it was gruesome over the night, especially when it comes towards Facebook. Facebook is supposedly from time to time show you pictures that you posted years ago or whatever the deal is. So I seen a picture the other day. I said, true, I remember that look, boy. I was in the valley. I had a whole mustache and everything. Them little hard hairs was on my top lip. You heard, man? And I was just going through it. But at the same time, I needed that because in order for me to be able to come before you, I have to get you to understand that I already know that 99% of the things that I say, I know that it's going to go against your programming. You heard me? And I'm cool with it because let me tell you why. Because chances are, let's say you're a lady. Watch this, fellas. Check this out. Chances are there's a lady that's watching right now. And it don't matter what her situation is, because you got to understand, that's a spirit. It doesn't matter what her situation is. She can be married, she can be divorced, she can be single, she can be in a situationship, whatever she's in, there's somebody in here right now that's looking at me with what they're looking at me in my flesh. You heard me? My baby, don't look at me in my flesh, because if you look at me in my flesh, you have to understand that I also know that every male in transition in the world that you're experiencing, they never cared about what I just said. You heard me? So I can't allow myself to know that and still PREYING on your emotions. Because you got to understand, some of y'all will fall for the hey beautiful text. Oh, baby, that's a copy and paste message. You believing that you the one. You heard me? Or better yet, some of the fellas, my brother, watch this. There's a lot of women that's in that world, Bone. They got certain spirits that your mama never taught you about, Bone. And since your mama never taught you about them spirits, you got to understand that there's a calling on your life, brother. You heard me? And the thing about it is, you've never even experienced a chick that even reads the Bible. So if you do, it's chances are, you know what I'm saying, you're still young or whatever the situation is or whatever, woo-de-woo. But if you really think about it, your whole life, you basically never changed if you think about it. Because at the same time, you go into relationships, you come out of relationships, and you go into relationships and you come out of relationships, and you go into another relationship, you come out of that relationship, and you're still blaming the other person, when in actuality, you made the decision to have sex with the teacher of that class. That's all that boiled down to, because it was able to show you when you had sex with the teacher within that one class, it was able to show you the different files that they never taught you about. Because guess what? If you think about it, not one of the men that you've ever experienced in that world you ever asked God for. So since you never asked God for that male or that man, whichever one you call it, then you have to understand that you did everything out of your own will. But you still making yourself believe that you blaming God for the life that you're choosing to live. No, my baby, think about it. This is something that you're doing to yourself. And in that, you're still talking about you don't trust God because you looking at it wrong, my baby. You're seeing it. You don't have that 2020 like you used to have, my baby. Go get them readers. You heard, man. Go get you them readers. Don't, just because it don't be dark when you get close to the house, you know what I'm saying, you be good. But if you know it's dark, you can't really see no more. My baby, go get them readers, you heard, man. Because at the same time, them dudes in that world manipulating you. You manipulating them and they manipulating you. Because watch this. Every man and every woman in that world has somebody somewhere that can still get their attention regardless of whatever situation they're in. And now that you hear that, some of you will disagree with it because you're at a certain age, and then they got some of you that's going to agree with it because they see it differently. They see as this is a journey. You met people your whole life. What would make me think that you're supposedly single just because I met you and you was drinking? Think about it, my baby. You go through it, you keep falling for this. That's like the Houdini. You heard me? Houdini got you. My baby, you're not learning nothing from this particular story when in actuality you're one of the smartest ones in the room. You keep letting that one chick, you ride or die, you keep letting her make decisions for you when, my baby, that woman don't even know who she is. And somebody made you, somebody taught you how to give people titles in their life. How can you, watch this, how can you call me a friend if every time we together we have to sin together for us to be friends? How many of them friends you got like that? You see what I'm saying? My baby, you living the wrong life. You heard me. Think about it. When it comes towards social media, you post confusion. What that mean? You post what your mindset gives you, if you think about it. Because this is nothing but a yearbook type situation. Whatever day on that year, that's what you were doing on that day. That you end up taking a picture that day, and that's saved to the archives. So what that tells me is, if I'm a man that's meeting a woman in person, I don't need your phone number. All I need is to find out which one of your profiles that you always on. Once I get that understanding, I go into my phone, we go ahead and follow each other, and bang, as soon as I get to the call, my baby, I'm going to search. I'm going to see what I'm getting into. Because you got to understand, y'all still falling for this stuff about exchanging phone numbers. You heard me. You exchanging phone numbers on the strength of you holding conversation with somebody that don't know who they are. Because you can only attract. You got to remember, Big Mama said that Papa was a Rolling Stone. She never said that like spirits attract. So, my baby, you attract what you are. What you are, you're a mirror. They can only be a mirror of you. And the Lord has sent you down here for a purpose, and you're choosing to play around when in actuality, his magician side of it is he's only going to allow that person to treat you how you treat your relationship with him. So you can't just get married or whatever the deal is. So watch this. And I know somebody was going to say it. That's what he talking about when he say, then they got people that get, if you got married without having an intimate relationship with God, you manipulated that man into marrying you. You can say, we can argue, or you can tell, you can be Big Mama. Big Mama, come tell me the truth. You heard me? Really think about it, because that decision, because you got to understand, when it comes towards Big Mama always seemed to outlive Big Daddy. So Big Mama leaves being single the last 5 years or last 10 years. What was that spirit? That was a spirit to show all the women that you can supposedly be this Miss Independent, this strong woman. You don't need no man. You can pay all your bills and this and that. And think about it. You living in that life. You believe in that. And them people still taking advantage of you because you're sitting up there arguing with people that don't know who they are because they don't understand that you don't understand you. You want me to give you another example? There's somebody that's in the FYP. The people that's in the FYP right now, there's somebody outside of the glass, and they're looking in, and they're still not realizing that they're afraid of change. Secretly, they'll say that they're a chosen one, but they still live in worry, doubt, and fear, and are potentially afraid of success. But they'll tell you that they're chosen. So, chosen one to chosen one, I'm believing that we're going to have a beautiful conversation. And then we get down to the nitty gritty. And, there's people that still stand in the world on certain situations. So why just elevate yourself on certain conversations? My baby, stop dumbing yourself down to have people around. You're going to still experience the wrong life doing it like that too. Because you're only attaching yourself to something that's not moving. You got people in your store, you can tell them, man, look, let's put $500 together and never have to worry about money again. What's the first thing you said? What's the first thing that little small mind said? Oh, it must be a scam. The 9 to 5 is a scam. Did you know that? Oh, you never did your research. My baby, if you think about it, 40 hours a week is 160 hours a month of doing something for somebody else. My baby, this is slavery. Because then when it comes time for you to do something with your business, with yourself, you're supposedly tired because you've been working for somebody else. My baby, that's the slave mentality. It never changed. And at the same time, you don't believe in yourself enough to get that particular understanding that it can change. Okay, yeah, you done had 2 or 3 different baby daddies or whatever the situation is. Who cares? You're not the first and you're not going to be the last. But at the same time, as soon as you heal from that story, there's a lot of people that's still going through that, and they still making themselves believe that they're a victim of their story, when in actuality, that's not what happened. Just like the people that's in FYP right now. You were at certain things, whatever the story that you're still telling as a victim. You was on the FYP one day. One of your friends was in a specific classroom, and you decided to go in that classroom with your friend. But what you didn't know is, just like in a dream, all dreams are not the same. It's not the people that you're thinking that you see in the dreams. These are what's considered as monitoring spirits that's trying to get you to say yes to something while you're asleep. That way, once you wake up, they're going to already have the trap already, and you know you're going to fail every single time. That's the reason why you can't remember none of your dreams. You don't even try. You heard me? You don't even try, and the reason why you don't try is because you're still angry. You angry at your decisions, and nobody know nothing about it. You heard me? You angry at your decision because you put your big girl drawers on, but my baby got to understand it happened that way because you were manipulated to go in that direction away from, think about it, anything that you care about right now, anything, whatever you care about in this world, is it taking you closer or further away from the Lord? Really think about it. Think about the things that you struggle with. The conversations that you have, the negative conversations that you have with yourself, the things that happen within your story that you just can't forgive that particular person for, not realizing that, my baby, that was just classes to prepare you in that area to see that class as just a class, and now go into your calling and your purpose to help women or help men that have experienced that one specific thing, to be of encouragement to them, because those individuals you already have the know, like, and trust with those individuals. So there's a multitude of people that went through what you went through, but they went through it because It's for their purpose, just like it's because your purpose, but you still mad that nobody supposedly you create. Think about it. You'll still say you have abandonment issues in your 40s. My baby, where's your mindset? How do you still have abandonment issues? You got children. So your children leaving you? Who's leaving you? You got to understand, them people left you to try to help you to realize that that wasn't the life you were supposed to be living, supposed to be experiencing. Everything was designed to give the Lord his glory. Everything. But at the same time, you want everything to be about you. My baby, it can't be about you all the time, because at the same time, you still living the wrong life. Especially them little women that's out here promoting lust strategically, trying to get them little coins any way possible, huh? Because your mindset tells you that multiple streams of income is going to get another job. My baby, that's not what you came here for. You came here to be the change. You came here to connect with individuals that's going in a direction that nobody in your story going. I love coming against the grain. You heard me. I love being there for people. I love encouraging. You know what I'm saying? I love encouraging other individuals. You know what I'm saying? I love seeing somebody smile. You heard me? I love getting a new experience. New oil every day. You heard me? Think about it. You get fresh oil every day, every wake up, a blank canvas. You get to paint on it, whatever you want to paint on it. And you still sit up here and you just don't do nothing with it. Doing nothing with the time. But blaming others. Think about it. You're doing nothing with the time and you're blaming others on behalf of something that you're choosing to do. My baby, think about it. Who's helping you change? Because you're telling people that you're in your healing season. And somehow you got pregnant. You're telling people that you're in your healing season. And then all of a sudden you got engaged. You're telling people that you're in your healing season, when in actuality, healing wasn't taught in the baby raising manual. And then when it comes to change, if you think about it, change wasn't taught until after you was lied to. So chances are, my baby, you living the life of a lie. And guess what? Everybody in your story is involved. You wouldn't allow me into your story. You may watch me on social media, but at the same time, you wouldn't let me be in that circle, because the people won't like me. And I'm going to show you that they don't like you either, because they got you staying comfortable when in actuality, you came to be the change. You can be the change. You connect with people that's going somewhere. Think about it. You manipulated to stay with people that's not going nowhere. My baby, go the other direction. I'm willing to go against the grain, because I'm going to wake some of my brothers and sisters up. You heard me? Because it's getting out of hand, man. You heard me? It's really getting out of hand that y'all are still sitting up there falling for them same things. Them same little, because it's all about this. You remember when I talk about the Ferris wheel, not the Ferris wheel, the carousel. If you think about it, from the very first time that you went to the fair, you've been at the fair your whole life, if you really think about it. You go through roller coasters, you go through storms. Those storms are the water rides. So you had the water rides and you had at the Six Flags all at the same time. But at the same time, if you really think about it, you go through certain things over and over because you're not willing to pass the test, or you're not willing to understand how to pass this test. So that's the reason why I kept going. That's the reason why some of you have really never been single before. Y'all will always be in relationships. Every time Every time you lose one, you already got another one. And you just never been alone, and you've never seen it like that because you just operated in that one particular spirit your whole life, and then, whatever happened at the end. But the more to it is, there's people that's around you that don't know that you have that spirit, and there's dudes that you're going to interact with that you put on that particular show of how you really operate. Think about it. You've never been single before, but at the same time, you became a baby mama. And in becoming a baby mama, you decided to use your emotions to prey, Preying, on those that you already have manipulated. So much manipulation that they can't even recognize that what you're saying about him is really you telling your business, because he can only be a mirror of you. So they'll never realize that all this time you was telling them the truth about you, and they can't see it because that's how manipulated you have them. So when it comes towards me, my baby, you have to really now think about it. What would you really talk to me about? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm back focused on the little lady that's still supposedly looking at me in my flesh. My baby, what we would talk about. Because if you think about it, the only reason why you listening or you hearing this right now is because you've never experienced this before. But the reason why you haven't experienced it is because your family never taught you about the familiar spirits or the monitoring spirits. Your monitoring spirits are your family members and whoever you decide to call family, because you got to understand, who knows all your faults, everything you done been through in this particular life, in this particular experience. And the reason why you don't want to accept your call from the Lord is because you still care about what them people say about you. And since you still care about what they say about you, that means you're going to sit back and only continue to make yourself believe that other people are hurting you when you doing that on your own, my baby. You heard me? You doing it on your own. You got to understand, for there's another set of women. There's another set of women that might be still in here. I don't know, it's a chance. She might still be sitting on FYP. And, her particular mindset is a little different. You heard, man? She's the type to where she understands everything that I just said, everything I've been saying since I've been on here. But at the same time, she has gotten to a place in her walk that although she understands what her identity is, what she won't understand is that she has a spirit that she's still operating in outside of the world. What am I talking about? Think about it like this. If you're known for talking back, watch this. You're known for talking back just on any situation, on any particular level. You got to understand, when we was children, as soon as you talk back, you'll get popped in the mouth. So if you really think about it, you're really supposed to get popped in the mouth when you start acting crazy. So what if it was a situation that was designed like that? You're known for, you know what your weakness is. Watch this. This is where I'm getting at, ladies. Now, let me reel you back in. Oh, Lord, he talking about me. He right on my head. Let me reel you back in. Every male that you meet, going forward, current, whatever, whoever you laying up next to tonight, my baby, you got to treat it like fishing. In order to catch a certain fish, you got to use a certain bait. So what was it? What he had to buy you? Maybe a little dinner, and then download Netflix or whatever the situation is, and you gave it up. Think about what you get. Think about what it takes for you to actually give it up, and you still blaming other dudes or blaming the dudes that you dealt with because at the same time, them only dudes that you like. But this is what I need you to understand. There's a set of men that's in the world, that's in this experience, and they are the men that nobody ever talk about. Who are those men? Think about every man that tried to introduce himself to you and you turned him down because you was either going through something or basically you so say was in that self-isolation. Now, sometimes it's like this. Now, some people ain't going to even feel what I'm about to say, which is cool. But like I said, I'm trying to help you rather than hurt you because there's a lot of people that don't see it this way. And since they don't see it this way, I have to respect how they see it because I want to get an understanding of that level because I never know when I'm going to come across someone that needs that particular type of, understanding that I've met someone in this particular life that basically he's like a real pioneer when it comes to this particular story. He went through it and this is what he ended up doing on behalf of that story. You still allowing other people, think about it. You have family members that have died off at this point that's allowing y'all to tell their story for them because they didn't do it while they were here and they taught you to do the same thing too. So my baby, if you think about it, you just think about it. You got some people manipulated in their life. Or better yet, you still believing that you depressed or something like that. Whatever you come up with. And what you depressed from? You depressed from living the wrong life. I would be depressed. I was depressed in that life too. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was with you. You heard me. But at the same time, my baby, hey, they got another world that you never tapped into yet. And the reason why you live in check to check is because everybody you hang with lives check to check. That's how y'all choosing to live. You heard me? But at the same time, hey, I was just in here ranting. You heard me? I wasn't even supposed to be talking about none of this. I'm gonna have to go ahead and put this one on YouTube. You heard me? I don't even know what I was going. I came to talk about some other stuff, but I'm gonna wait until next time, man. I see it's almost 1 o'clock. I know y'all excited about your holiday. You heard, man. Everybody, please be safe. I'm gonna go ahead and get off this thing. I have no idea when I'm coming back, but I appreciate you spending some time with me. You heard, man. Because a lot of times it's like I don't have nobody to talk to about these things. And sometimes I'm be trying to figure out, man, am I the only one that think like this? And I'm starting to find so many people that I'm not the only one. You heard, man. But this is the things that we're supposed to be doing while we're experiencing this life. It's not about, think about it, whatever your story is, how many people do you believe gonna get to heaven and tell that same story? My baby, your story happened the way that it happened, just like every movie happened the way that it happened. It's a story. And this how it happened. This is how it ended. Bang. You're going to come there and sit there and watch part 2 again. But you don't like what's going on in your story and you're afraid to change it. Think about it. My baby, you're afraid to change that. They got people. Think about how many, you probably don't even think about it like this. How many blessings you think you actually passed up on the strength of your small voice telling you that you're not good enough. So all you do is go and hang with dudes that feel the same way about themselves. Remember, it's a mirror. So whichever your feeling is, yeah, think about it. You may be in a situation where you say that person will never change. Right. That person will never change. That person that's in the mirror that you at your house. So that person can only be a mirror of you in that season. So whatever season y'all met, whatever fate y'all had on behalf of the Lord, whatever relationship y'all had, is all mimicking each other. So all this stuff about the divorce court and whatever, this relationship talk, period. Just call it what it is. You decided to have sex with the teacher of that class. Sometimes you have a child with that class. I mean, you have a child with that teacher, or you have multiple children with their teacher, or you create a family with their teacher. Think about it. That's just like Monopoly. Whatever you choose to do, you heard me, you continue going forward within the game. But at the same time, you're supposed to be progressing. You're not progressing in none of your areas. You just stand in this comfortable section. You know what I'm saying? That's the reason why they snuck up and gave you a work from home position. They knew who to pick for that. Think about it. They knew who to pick for that. Oh shit, that thing. Hey, every time we're gonna see her, she gonna be squeezing in her clothes. You heard, man? Because they know you're gonna get comfortable, and they see that you like to eat your emotions. Think about it. Why would they set that up like that? They know you like to eat. That's the reason why oh Lord, girl, they chose me. I'm gonna be working from home, my baby. That's not what that was. Them people's targeting you. You don't. I'm gonna leave that alone, man. But anyway, I'm gonna get off this thing, man. I hope there was something that was said that was fruitful. You heard, man? Fruitful, because there's so much more to you than what the eye can see. Oh, she said stay. Okay. All right, cool. There's so much more to you than what the eye can see. But at the same time, your biggest issue is you like rooms where the people in the room don't even see you as the blessing no more. And when you in a room with people that don't see you as a blessing, that means you have to mimic their energy whenever you see them. Really think about it. You have to mimic that type of energy. And that type of energy is basically doing what for you? It's keeping you where you at. You heard me? It's not no situation where, because you got to understand, it's different types of women. Fellas, there's different types of women that you'll meet in 2025. Now, of course, my particular calling is geared towards the youth. So when I get an opportunity to hold a conversation with someone in their 20s, I get the opportunity to really see how many layers they'll allow me to peel back of their mind, to where I guarantee they're going to always remember that conversation that they had with me. You heard me? Think about it. This is what you was doing in your 20s. You was pissing them away. And the reason why you pissed away those 10 years is because you was raised by people that pissed away those 10 years. Because you got to understand, you was also being raised by individuals who did get a chance to piss them 10 years away because they already had babies. So they had to skip that part of their lives. So every big mama or big daddy is a chance that they end up skipping certain parts of their lives. I'm talking about the old big mama. I'm not talking about the 2025 big mama. Big mama, she like 35, 36 in 2025. I'm talking about the old school big mama. Chances are, if she had a lot of cheering, you heard, man, that means she probably started early. So the thing about that is, if you're being raised by somebody that's like that, that's the reason why some of y'all got that strong mama gene, and that's going to keep attracting mama's boys. And in that attraction, he's only looking for a mother figure in a girlfriend rather than a wife. But at the same time, you manipulated him into marrying you when that wasn't even supposed to be the role of his life or his calling in your life, because everybody serves a purpose. Once you start to get the understanding of what's the purpose that each person is, think about it. There's people that you never you never want to leave your story. That's how you feel about them. You never want certain characters to leave your story. That's your mindset, my baby. There's a there is an expiration date on everything in this life. Once you get that understanding, certain things you start to see it totally different, because in the midst of them trying to teach me to grieve, that means some type of blessing might be coming. So let me go on a fast instead of going there grieving with what everybody else doing, because if they all grieving over there, that means nobody can really hear God in that particular situation, because I'm gonna go ahead and fast so that way I can make sure that I hear what's going on, so that way I can tell the family. But guess what? It never happens like that. Everybody supposedly grieving. I still got people supposedly still trying to jump in the casket in 2025. My brothers, y'all sitting up there, there's some of y'all that still got your grandparents, y'all got your parents and all that. And that's cool. I'm not trying to turn you away from them people, but at the same time, I need you to read Matthew 10, verse 34 to 39. You heard me? I'll read it right now, but nah, it's too late for that. I want you to go find it for yourself so that way you can see what the situation is. They wonder why I go silent for days. When for my baby, hey, keep doing it. Keep doing it, because at the same time, there's some people, just like I know she understand, we came to be the change. You heard me? So why nobody else know that? Why nobody else actually trying to operate in change? Everybody just going the same direction. That's not cool. That's not what you came here to do. You came to change that. You came to go against the particular grain. Every time I come live, I'm going against the grain, because I know that there's a chance that somebody gonna meet me today and they're gonna be so intrigued by the things that the Lord is saying. And then they're going to reach out. We're going to talk. We're going to talk about, and we're going to have some kingdom talk. I ain't about to talk about I ain't about to talk with you about no worldly stuff. You heard me? We're going to have some kingdom conversation. And in that kingdom conversation, chances are, this sounds like another one that just want that they say they want the kingdom, but they want kingdom treatment, but no kingdom. That's basically what it is. Want the kingdom treatment. You want to, I'm going to attach myself to this man right here. Yeah, but what about the kingdom? You heard me? Let's talk kingdom. I'm not willing to talk about nothing else. You heard me? Because I done got to the point to where it's like your whole conversation, you'll let somebody in a little bit, and then as soon as you say something they don't agree with, I get blocked, or they're not following me no more, whatever the deal is. When I'm telling them, my baby, emotions aren't real. If you used to fussing with a dude or fussing with men or females, whatever, and then you don't get that attention, you don't know how to operate in that. You go off on a voicemail or whatever the situation is, and it's a tone checker. Go ahead and hit the play button, depending on what kind of turn that thing right back off. So you're gonna feel emotion. You're gonna feel emotion on behalf to fail that test again. But you're going to be focused on being mad at him and not at the fact of that this is a test that you're not passing, because it's designed for you to pass each of these particular tests. Think about it. Scripture says that he will never put more on you than you can bear. That means every situation you're already able to handle. But at the same time, some days you decide not to think of having your full armor of God on. You heard me? At no point it said take the armor of God off. You should be setting your alarm before you put your foot on the ground in the morning, before you start the day. Set your particular alarm. Put that full armor of God. I like to have my shoes of peace. You heard me? Because you never know what was going on in the dream realm. You keep saying, man, I had a dream I was with such and such. No, my baby, that was a monitoring spirit. I wasn't. They're trying to get you. You heard me? But anyway, let me see if this is the worst that can happen. Imagine what exactly. Because especially when it's you have a heart for people in that world, but it's like you're giving your gift to the wrong kingdom. That's the reason why every man you're gonna meet, he's not gonna be able to absorb all that love that you have to give, because that's not your husband. You just decided, to have sex with a teacher. Just leave it at that. You heard me? Then when it happened in real life, y'all want to get mad. It's been going on for years. That's the reason why I'm cheering it. It's the mindset of the child. There was mirrors of each other. They're trying to blame the teacher. The woman has some type of disorder because that young her was still available to the child. But y'all want to sit up there and try to put people in jail or for some man, this is knowledge. You missing the particular outcome. You heard, man? Because you seeing it totally different from what it really is. It's nothing but bait. You heard, man? And you missing it because you're programmed to make yourself believe that justice system is supposed to be legit, when in actuality, no, that's not even what's supposed to be happening. These are tests. These are classes that people supposed to be learning from on behalf of the way that it went down. Just like, for instance, somebody supposedly, I don't know, robbed somebody or whatnot. That was a particular course that was being shown on, and the potential things that can happen if you decide to go ahead and try that particular way. That's all that is. It's not about putting nobody in jail. Hey, I'm telling y'all, looking at life wrong, man. That's another reason why you're not going to allow me into your... Ooh, I appreciate you. You're not going to allow me into your particular life, man. You heard? You got to think about it, my baby. Matter of fact, we'll do it like this. Let's see if we can put some things in the chat right quick. Now, well, I'm not even gonna say put in the chat because I don't want nobody to feel bad, but I'm gonna show you something. Let me ask you a question. Are you a leader or a follower? Think about it. Are you a leader or a follower? Now, once you get the understanding of what it is, you see that? That's an alpha female right there. You heard, man. But they got some dudes that's not gonna understand that, and they're gonna mistreat you. I know you know what I'm talking about. They mistreated you because they seen you as competition. That's the only reason why they mistreated you. That's what the Holy Spirit told me to tell you. You got it to a point to where you're so knowledgeable, you're so intelligent that you make men feel like they got to compete rather than try to nourish. You heard me? Because you got to understand, that's another mirror of you. So if you look at it that way, then you'll start to understand why they go into it and then they end up backing out of it, because that's exactly what you do as soon as you don't get your way. That's what I'm talking about. So, of course, nobody else know that around you, but your secret is safe with me, you heard? But anyway, my baby, check it. For those of you who said or who realized that they're a follower, my babe, I need you to understand, in this life, I appreciate you. In this life, it's a situation where you're going to be trained to do certain things that you didn't even know that you was. Sometime you're in the military, but you just going through the obstacle course. Watch this. For those who said that they're a follower, remind yourself that you were trained to be timid. You was also trained not to express yourself. You was trained not to vent your thoughts. Think about it. You was trained not to vent your thoughts. But then when you did it, you decided to do it with family. When in actuality, That's how the devil knows all your business, because you keep telling your family, and your family are the ones that are designed to only kill the spirit of the next generation. So you've been telling your story to the wrong people that seeing you or helping you as to see it as a victim. There's nobody in your story that has wisdom. You don't have a grandmother or a grandfather that's still there that's going to give you wisdom, to give you the understanding that, my baby, you living the wrong life. And them people got you doing that. You heard me? The people got you doing that. And you make it look good too. You heard me? Now, they got some of y'all too. You heard me? Y'all know who y'all are. Y'all know what your identity in Christ is. But at the same time, some of them don't believe that we can see the Jezebel in some of them too. You heard me? Hey, it ain't no secret. It ain't no secret at all. You know what I'm saying? Y'all are the ones that you got a great conversation. Conversationalists. You heard me? Quote some scriptures and all that. But at the same time, that thing still, you heard, man, she got all that makeup on. There's not a picture or video that's on that page where she's not beat. That's what y'all call it. She got her face beat. I'm like, man, so she wake up in the morning? She go to sleep with that on too? Hey, my baby, who are you in competition with? You heard me? That thing say that you single. But anyway, fellas, y'all got to be prepared for some of these little ladies. They be operating in spirits that they don't even understand because they were raised by one. That's the reason why it's a situation where if the mother was a side piece, think about it. Look at how you tell your story about how they taught you that your father didn't want nothing to do with you. Watch this. And you were raised by an individual who, just like for instance, do you believe that your mama was in love, or your mama just so happened to be the woman that got pregnant at the time? Because back in the day, if you think about it, those days, where a man would get a woman pregnant, they'll have them shotgun weddings. He had to marry her. But your family had never told you nothing about that. You don't know that your mom and them, that your grandmother them was a situation where your grandmother just so happened to be the woman that got pregnant. Your grandfather had all them women. Your grandmother got pregnant first, and that's where everything started. But you're not going to see your grandmother in her whole season. You're going to only see grandmother as grandmother. You heard me? You got to understand, that's women, that's people that's been in the flesh. You heard me? They've done the same mistake. They made them the same mistakes we made. Nobody was perfect. But you only see them as perfect when in actuality they far from it. So you have to understand, you act like them people. You heard me? You act like them people. But at the same time, that's not even who you are either. So they taught you how to create an avatar of yourself when none of these people, none of these yous are the actual you. The more women learn about ourselves, the more we learn about our mothers and our, exactly. Because it goes down to, they don't want to tell you what the family secrets are. They think somebody made somebody believe that once somebody die off, all the secrets go along with them. No, them people basically are leaving all the demonic doors that they left, that they opened while they've been here, and leaving them wide open their whole life. Living life without a purpose, basically drifting through this particular experience. And somebody decided to get to that funeral talking about such and such died young. What was he doing? What was actually taking place? You heard me? Really think about it. Think about the little t-shirt lady. Whenever somebody young died, the t-shirt lady got the funeral home website as a tab. You heard me? And she goes through and she, whoever got a youngster that passed, she's reaching out to the community, such and such, and she dropping my card. Next thing you know, them pad by them people out and put a card inside it. Oh, I went down and talked to some of them. They'll do it. They'll call them, hey, I'm coming to the house. Think about it. That woman, what's the difference between what she doing and I'm sure you're getting frustrated when you either, you're on your way to work or you got to stop at a stop. These dudes that make themselves believe that you're supposed to talk to them just because they got a cup in their hand on the side of the road. Now, it's not about judging other individuals. It's about understanding that they still haven't realized that they're living the wrong life. So I have to love them for where they're at. But instead of me giving them money, I'd rather give them a conversation that can, hey, I'll give them $1 billion worth of game on behalf of a life. Think about it. There's a show. It's called Once Upon a Time. I think I like maybe, I don't know, maybe 6 to 8 seasons or something like that. All of our Disney characters, no, not Disney characters, our childhood characters, like certain books we used to read back in the day, Pinocchio, Rumpelstiltskin, that type of stuff. All of our storybook characters are in a world where they forgot who they were. As I was watching that, I'm thinking about the people that's in this world that forgot who they are. Think about it. You have a capability of yourself that is going to be totally different from what you actually experiencing right now. I need you to think about something. Watch this. The dudes that you're messing around with. Let's say you start winning, because at the same time, I got to understand that you're going to still choose where you at. Let's say we start a situation where I'm trying to figure out how I want to do it. You heard, man. Let's say we start a situation where we have this, because this is what I'm about to. Business partners and clients. If you're not a business partner or a client, then we won't be holding conversation, because I know my purpose, and just because I know mine, that don't mean I have to come here and wait for you to be ready to go get yours. That's basically what I'm saying. There are certain strategic things that you don't even think about in this life. Just like, for instance, there's people who will never become an entrepreneur. And since they'll never become an entrepreneur, it's not because they couldn't, it's because none of the people help them to change. The one thing, think about it, in your story, you kept believing that your baby daddy, your ex-husband, your father, whoever hurt you, when in actuality, they were the ones that was trying to help you. The ones that's actually hurting you are the ones that you staying close to. And that's why you see in life how it is, when in actuality, my baby, the people that's here to help you, you seeing it as hurt. The ones that's hurting you, you seeing that as love. But baby, with me having that understanding, that's telling you that we wouldn't be good for each other. So in order for us to be good for each other, I can help you to get whatever you want in this life. When it comes to my coaching services, I went on ahead. The Holy Spirit gave me understanding that not everyone that's going to come into this experience is going to want to be healed, because they just want understanding. Once they get understanding, they're good with whatever comes after that, because they just want a little puzzle piece or whatever the deal is. So I set up a whole 1 hour segment for that. We talk about life. You give me your particular stories, and I'll give it back to you from the Lord's lens. on behalf of what it is that he was trying to teach you or show you in that particular season. But I can't go as far as I need to, especially if I'll probably never see you again. You heard, Miss Maria, I appreciate you. So I have to guard myself. You got to pay for my time, because I can't just sit on the phone with you and knowing once we hang up, you still not going to do nothing with the information. My baby, you're just not ready. You're not ready for change. You don't want to change, and you still got them people fool that's in your story that don't know everything, and you know how to twist it so that way they can believe it. And nah, my baby, you can't rock like that with everybody. You heard me? Because what will you do with a man that can see straight through you? What would you do to mess it up? Think about it. What would you do to mess it up? Because there's a multitude of men that are rising up, that are becoming who they truly are. And you have to also understand, just because he wasn't that whenever he was with you, that means y'all just met in a different season. So think about it. In your story, none of the men that you manipulated, basically, that never came back, you told everybody it was them, when in all, it was always you. So look at how much power that you actually have over people in that particular world, and you still up there not even living the right life. So think about what you do to Matt. You heard me? What are your prices like? Hey, jump in my inbox, man. We'll hold conversation. The beautiful thing is that you ask. You heard me? Because there's individuals who are hearing this, and they'll go to sleep tonight with no conviction. Somebody been on here the whole time, been getting all this stuff. And as soon as the live goes off, it's like it never happened. You heard me? It's like it never happened. The deep stuff is, it goes deep. Think about it. These are conversations that need to be had, or however you gotta say it. It was something like that. There's so many people that live in fear, false evidence appearing real. What does the devil have you believing that is real? A lot of people that start trying to do the work begins to believe they're just supposed to be alone. Yeah, because they don't believe, like I'm saying, they'll say that they're chosen, but they don't believe in destiny helpers. So they haven't even been in that particular class yet. Because if you think about it, there was always destiny helpers. It's just that we couldn't see who it was because we were taught to see things a certain way. Like, for instance, you only see the world out of your mama lens. Or you only see the world out of the lens that you created. Or let's say Big Mama raised you. You only see the world through her lens. And that world is way back, because Big Mama can't come to 2025. 2025 have to come to Big Mama, if you get the understanding. Why you believe that they're not, why you don't think about how they're pushing away the elders? Everything is digital. So that means if they don't want to learn it, they just won't have to do it. I know some people that still mailing their bills in the mailbox. Way back in the day. This is back in the 90s. You heard them go put the little water bill, have the little run out there, put the little flap up, put the little change. You heard me, stack up the little change nice and neat on top of the dollars. You heard me? Hey, that's how it is, man. They change it all. But anyway, check this out. I asked my baby, are you a leader or a follower? For those that said, because you got to understand, your spirit going to tell you. Your spirit going to tell you what it is, because you got to be understanding. You have to, the part you're not seeing is why you don't understand that the devil makes you, or the devil has you so manipulated that you continue to lie to the Holy Spirit. Why? Why do you think you continue to lie to the Holy Spirit? My daddy still does this. He likes to talk to folks at the post. Hey, that's where his ministry at. You heard, man? Hey, go down there and support him once or twice. You know what I'm saying? I know he gonna appreciate that. See, that's the thing about it. We all have a certain gift, but at the same time, some people operate in it and don't even realize that's what they're doing. They're operating in their gift. There are certain things that you do and you do well, but at the same time, like I said, there's a chance that you're doing it for the wrong kingdom. You heard, man? Once you get that understanding what that is, everything gonna change for you. You know what I'm saying? And how the Bible say, all you have to do, my baby, is seek ye first the kingdom, and everything else will be added to you. To the point you ain't going to even have to ask for nothing. You heard me? He know what you need. You heard me? He just need you to get to the certain understanding. Once you start showing some consistency, and once you start showing that you discipline in certain areas, I'm telling you, the Lord going to bless you. You heard me? He going to bless you. He going to give you whatever your heart desire. You got to understand, you a woman, you in your 40s, and you still don't know what your heart desire, because you're so distorted on how you think. My baby, the reason why you think how you think is because every person you ever had intercourse with thought like you think. Think about it. They can only think how you think. That was the attraction. Y'all didn't have these type of conversations. All it took, it was a strawberry for him to get it, or whatever the situation is. You heard me, my baby. You was operating out of lust. The same way he was operating out of lust. But at the same time, none of your homegirls can tell you none of this, because they doing the same thing too. And nobody helping nobody. Watch this. Maybe are you a leader or a follower? Understand that you're trained to be timid. Understand that you're trained not to express yourself. Understand that you're trained not to vent your thoughts. Understand that you was manipulated by the history of your family, considered as the slavery concept. You ought to be seen but not heard. Think about that. I'm in my 40s. So to my people that's in their 40s, 50s, and above, when we were younger, we couldn't be in the same room whenever grown-ups was talking. You heard me? And since we couldn't be in the rooms, what they wanted to make sure is that we didn't have like just the TV off. You heard me? Or the TV muted, so that way we can hear what it is that they're talking about. If they found that out, it was somebody gonna get whipped. You heard me? But the situation at hand is now, how so much has changed. They got the children sitting there, you know what I'm saying, listening to the grown people talk, or whatever the deal is. Nobody saying nothing, nobody whipping no ass, and none of that. Everybody just cool with it. The reason being is because the generations got softer and softer. The generation now is when a young girl has a son, instead of the son becoming the son becomes the little boyfriend. I'm talking about the young ones. 15, 16, that's their little boyfriend. They about to grow up together, if you really think about it. And the thing about that is, she's going to deeply manipulate him. She's going to be his mother, and he's going to be lost as soon as she leaves his story, because he's going to be limited in his growth in a plenty of different areas. You heard me? Now, think about it. Chances are you got a home girl or whatever the deal is that done sat up there and told them children that the daddy didn't want to be involved, when you know that all you're doing is basically helping that woman to manipulate them children. And everybody is so cool with it. You heard me? Think about it. This is going on day to day, and nobody's seeing it. Everybody's involved, though. You heard me? Think about it. You're helping your sister, your brother, all their children. Whoever your godmother is, her children. Y'all are all manipulating each other's children, telling them children whatever we all feel like telling them children, and that's the reason why that mental health stuff is so absurd at this point. Because the boys don't know how to respond. They don't know how to act. Think about it. What happens whenever you realize that every adult that's been saying that they love you, they've been lying to you your whole entire life. And you keep them people close in your story. Because you can't tell the difference between what love is. That's the reason why you don't know what love. You don't even know how to love. If you really think about it. You're stuck in a story where you're seeing the people that's hurting you as those that's trying to help you. You block people in their story. And since you block people in their story, what is the advantage? Because me personally, when someone unfollows me or someone blocks me, all I know is I have the understanding that they're choosing not to change. Because individuals know if they hold a conversation with me, my particular conversation is always going to be different. It's always going to be on a whole nother level. I remember they had people that then came up before asking me, why do every conversation we have to talk deep or whatever the situation is? Well, my baby, go ahead and hold conversation with them airheads that's not teaching you nothing. They got people that like to be the smartest one in the room. But my baby, being the smartest one in the room is getting you where? It's not getting you nowhere. But anyway, hey, I'm going to get off this thing, man. You was manipulated by the history of your family, the slavery concept. You ought to be seen and not heard. Matter of fact, think about that portion of it. You ought to be seen but not heard. So you don't even understand that as a spirit. That's a spirit that was running through your family. You ought to be seen and not heard. So basically, that's the reason why you have a story to tell. There's some women that I hold a conversation with. They'll have this powerful testimony, but at the same time, they're making themselves believe that they believe in the Lord's power, but they'll sit there and they'll say, I only speak whenever the Lord tells me to speak, but they've never spoken on none of their platforms. So you have all this crazy faith, but you still don't believe that there's people assigned to your call. So it's like the conversation just my baby, you're not going to come manipulate me with that. That's the reason why you done got to that age and nobody really dealing with you, my baby. Some men, they don't really, they know that you're lying. We know that you're lying. And you know what I'm saying? It's going to just be what it is, because at the same time, you already straight. You heard me? You just ready. You waiting for your turn, because all that's left is to be at the middle at a homegoing service. You heard me? And allow, because you got to understand, I already told you earlier, I said that everybody in your family only allowing you or y'all to tell their story for them because y'all don't have the courage to tell it while y'all here, because y'all still care about what other people say about y'all. You heard me? The struggle is real. You heard me? You ought to be seen but not heard. That's a spirit that's running through your family. That's the reason why you're afraid to go live. That's the reason why you're afraid to be on the camera. But every time it's time to go somewhere, you want to be the center of attention because of the stuff that you put on amongst other individuals that has boyfriends that you so say claim you want a man for your own, but you gonna sit up there and dress nasty where there's other women with their boyfriends or their husbands, and you trying to get the attention from them on the strength of all you're doing is using your particular gift for the wrong kingdom. So whenever somebody check you or whenever somebody come in and play a certain role, now you want to be mad. But you keep dealing with them same bottom feeders. You keep catching them the same way you keep catching. So you got the fly trap. That's how you catch your little flies. And then you want people to believe that it was the fly that was acting crazy when in actuality that was your way of doing it. How he doing it? Your manipulation. So some of y'all are queens. Some of y'all are some of these what they call them people, them witches. These what they call them people, them witches. You heard things, and that's just be what it is. You heard me? But anyway, hey, my phone about to die, man. I'm getting off this thing. You heard, man. I only got 10% left. Hey, I'm gonna see y'all soon. I had so much other stuff to talk about. You heard me. I definitely got to put this one on YouTube. If you need this particular copy, jump into the inbox. You heard, man. I'll get it to you as soon as I upload it. But I know they had some juicy stuff that we was talking about earlier. You heard me. So yeah. Anyway, hey, I appreciate y'all. Empty spools, Miss Maria. Hey, I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. You heard, man. As I mentioned, I do mindset coaching. You heard me. If you feel, I'm a matter of fact, I'm gonna only promote the story revision. We talk about your story. We talk about the areas that you're considering yourself as a victim. There are certain stories that you're telling as a victim. And in that story, you're only seeing it through your vision and not the vision of the Lord. See, you keep looking at life through your vision or your mom's vision, but it's never seen through the lens of the Lord. So we're going to take the opportunity to have a conversation. I'm going to listen to you. I'm going to listen to you, and I'm going to give you what the Holy Spirit gives me to give you the understanding of what the Lord was trying to show you on behalf of your ministry present day. You heard me? But I understand that some people may need a little bit more time or whatever the situation is. That's cool. Like I said, my baby, jump in the inbox. I'm looking for business partners or clients. If you're not one of these, hey, when that season comes, then reach out. I love to hold a conversation with you. But at the same time, until we have a conversation, I'm not saying I'm the only one you can talk to, but I'm going to tell you that every man in your particular story is only a male in transition. He is trying, think about it. You've never introduced yourself to a man that can basically teach you so much in one conversation. I don't know how long you've been here, but I guarantee that you learned whatever you wanted to learn in this particular conversation. How many men what they came to teach you? Think about it. What they came to teach you. Because what you tell people is not what they came to teach you. You're telling people the wrong stuff. You heard, man? Yes, I did learn. That's a blessing. That's what it's all about. It was nothing but a class. Take the class, pass the class, on to the next. To every new level, there's a new devil. Every new level of it is going to be just like the ones where there's a situation where you keep having these dudes of sneaky links from way back in the day. Y'all still connect from time to time. That's just a familiar spirit that only show up periodically to see if you're ready to pass the test or not. If you pass the test, you say no. If you pass this test and not respond, you pass that particular test. But you keep supposedly falling for it. And as long as you fall for it, the show will continue. Never too big to make a mistake. Hey, not at all. Not at all. It's all good. Hey, listen, let me jump off this thing, man. I got y'all up too late, you heard, man. $1 billion advice. I appreciate you. I appreciate it. Hey, I thank the Lord, man. I thank the Lord because I ran from this situation for so long. And I still don't know a lot of stuff, but at the same time, I'm gonna strive every day to give me a little something. Give me a little wisdom on behalf of something else. You heard, man. I gotta have my little daily bread. You heard me, and at the same time, the chips gonna fall because I'm only one person. Think about it. Regardless of where you're at in life, you're only one person, meeting one new person and changing your particular life just because that one new person came into your life. You heard, man. Is that you? Think about it. There's someone in here right now that still haven't realized that you're that person to come into join somebody else's life and your life become changed on behalf of that, but you want to be guarded. You want to supposedly use your your little catch, your little bait, and think that you're going to catch a big fish, like, you know what I'm saying, or whatever the situation is. When in actuality, my baby, that won't make me look at you any different. You heard me? Because it's going from top to bottom, going up to the grandmothers on down. You heard me? The aunties on down. It's all of them. But at the same time, the Lord doesn't allow my spirit to be manipulated. So I can't be the change, because you got to understand, with us interacting, that means now we've come into each other's stories if we hold a conversation. So within that story, you got to understand, you can't, and every man that came into your story, you decided to blame. So I can't allow you to put me in your story so that way you can blame me, because we see how you act, especially when you get mad. You heard me? But anyway, we're going to talk about that later on, man. You heard me? Hey, jump in the inbox. If you're interested in the coaching information, I'm going to shoot it to you. You heard, man. Let's link up. Let's hold a conversation. Let's see where we can help each other, especially if you're in the business, if you're in interest of do some collaborating right now. I'm willing to collaborate with some people, man. Everything, hey, the sky's the limit. You heard, man. Hey, peace and blessings. You heard me. God bless y'all and all of y'all families. I know that the world is supposedly about to celebrate the holiday or whatever. Y'all be safe in everything that y'all do. You heard, man. Pray about everything and understand that if you get a chance to wake up later on today, that's the first blessing. You heard, man. The Lord has been following. The Lord has been faithful to you, even in your unfaithfulness, even in your deceitfulness. He's still been faithful to you, and he still can't get your attention. All he's trying to do is get your attention and show you the life that he really sent you out here to live. Think about it. You told that child that daddy didn't want him because you wanted your own way of basically creating the narrative on the life that your child ended up living, when in actuality you're not even happy. When in actuality you're not even happy in the life that you live in, because the question is life giving you what you want? Your answer is no, but at the same time, you keeping that child away from the daddy on behalf of your benefit because you feel a certain type of way. And then at the end of the day, 10 to 15 years later, you still talking about the relationship that didn't work with you and your baby daddy. How does that work like that? Think about it. How deeply manipulated is she trying to make the new guy? You and your baby father haven't been together in 10 plus years. And you're now dating a new guy 10 years later. The new guy supposedly he believes that you've been single for the past 10? Hey, Brown. There's so much manipulation going on in this world and y'all not seeing it. You heard me? Some of y'all got homegirls that's doing it because they're doing it to y'all. But anyway, hey, all right, I'm at 7%. I appreciate all the likes, all the comments, all the love. You heard me? I'm going to reach back out to those who said certain strategic things inside the chat while I was live or whatnot. Hey, know that I appreciate y'all. You heard, man. We'll definitely talk again. And feel free to reach out, man, because you just never know when somebody's going through something. Feel free to reach out. We can hold a conversation. But, you know what I'm saying, I know how to, business and clients. You heard, man. One of the above. Let's talk about your story. Matter of fact, I got that thing on a discount right now. You heard, man. So feel free to sign up. I know it's the little holiday. We can get together on Saturday, Sunday, whenever the situation is. Let's lock in. I know there's some people that's here that all I need you to do is just to believe in you, and we can make whatever type of money you want to make in this life. We can go get whatever dream that you ever think of. You can pay off. We can focus on paying off your car first. What you want to do. You heard me. But anyway, we're going to talk. Y'all be safe. I love y'all. And until next time.